Hello there. This is Gracie W. Liu, communication expert, and I'm here to help you navigate your unique communication styles. This is your weekly communication style reading. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on my weekly readings. All right, so I'm going to pull your card for today's reading. This message is for you, diplomatic. If you are unsure about your unique communication style, then you will need to click on the link in the description box below to take the quiz that will identify your unique communication style. Okay, so let's dive in. Here is the card for you. And it says, there is a nobility to those who do not let neediness or desperation compromise who they are. So diplomatic, this message is about when you're communicating because you are good at seeing both sides. You're good at looking at from your angle as well as from other people's angle. So you want to have that balance. So what happens is when you start to come from a place of neediness or desperation where you want to have that approval or you want people to agree with your ideas or thoughts or opinions that you are sharing, when you come from a place of after you shared your thoughts, ideas, opinions, or what have you, and now instead of being open because now you want the person to accept what you are saying and you want the person to agree to what you are sharing, you no longer have that balance. And so when you come from that place of lacking of balance, because now instead of being open to other people and being okay if they don't agree with you, if you have that feeling of after you shared it that you really want the person to agree with you and just want to follow you and what have you, when you have that place of feeling of neediness and you're compromising so much that you're kind of losing yourself, that you're feeling that you're losing that equilibrium or that balance, then you're no longer going to feel like that power, right? So you lose that feeling of being noble and being powerful in some aspect, right? Because you're no longer coming from that place of being in balance. When you share and now you listen to the other person, but when you want people to like you so much, right? To agree with you so much that now you're wanting them to like you so much, to accept your opinion, to accept everything that you're saying so much that you're now in desperation and also you're compromising so much to get the other person to be on your side. That's where you feel the lack of power. And that's where you feel the lack of being noble. So when you can communicate in a place that you're willing to share as well as willing to accept, and you're only willing to compromise on certain aspects. You're not going to compromise on everything, and you're not compromising because you want the person to be on your side, or you're not wanting, and you're not compromising because you want the person to like you. Okay, you're compromising because maybe you feel it's right that some parts, yes, if I compromise this part a bit or something, that we're going to get that balance, then you're going to still feel like you're into power. When you are balanced, when you're compromising just because you want the person to be all on your side, you want to be liked, you want to have the approval and all, then that's where you're going to feel less powerful. Okay, so when you're communicating, there is a part where, yes, compromise is good, but making sure that you're compromising in a way that makes it so that you're feeling like it's because you want to have a better balance. And so that way it's not from approval, so that way you can still maintain that feeling of being in power and feeling that you're doing the noble thing of what is best for everybody, not just for you, in a sense that you just because you want everyone to like you. I hope that made sense. All right. So, okay, so this is my unique card deck. So, diplomatic. I want you to focus on my deck and ask your guides or higher self for your unique secondary message for this week. And it says, what is a healthy way to communicate your boundaries? So we just mentioned about being in, speaking from a place of equilibrium and balance, and not from a place of being of neediness or too much compromising because you want to be liked, right? So healthy boundary communication, and you can have healthy boundary within your communication. So what is your healthy communication boundary? What is it that you're going to allow or not allow? So perhaps you might be having a disagreement. There's a discussion and you're having your point of view, the other person has his or her point of view, and you're sharing, and perhaps the discussion is getting a bit too heated. And again, you're compromising to a certain point that you're trying to create a balance, and you do see the good points of what the other person is saying so that you're willing to back off a little bit. However, it's not because you want that person to totally like you in that sense, right? You're not having that neediness to do that. So because the discussion might be a little bit heated, what are you going to allow that's a healthy communication argument or discussion? If again, in a heated argument, you might allow, like, okay, yes, you can state your feelings, you have a more forceful voice, I don't mind that, but perhaps name calling, right, is out of the picture. So maybe it gets to the point where the guy or he or she name calls, and it's like, no, that I will not allow. Okay, so now you're stating what you are going to allow or not allow to maintain a healthy communication boundary. So what is that for you? What are you going to allow or not allow when people speak with you? Again, I just gave an example, name calling. You don't allow people to name call. You don't name call the person, so you won't allow the person to name call when there's a disagreement, right? Because name calling doesn't solve a problem. You're just making it worse, right? Whoever's doing the name calling is just making it worse, because you're just making the person feel even worse. And so that just escalates the arguments even further. So that's not constructive. That's not healthy. So perhaps then your healthy boundary will be, okay, we are allowed to have disagreements. We're allowed to raise our voices, because who doesn't? However, name calling is off the table. I won't allow that. So that might be one of your healthy communication boundaries during an argument. So decide, you can choose what you will allow or not allow in your communication boundary. All right. So, because again, we just want communication to be healthy. And so you want to have a healthy communication boundary so that you can continue to have that constructive communication, whether it be during an argument or during any group discussions, whatever it might be. All right. Okay, so that is the reading for Diplomatic. And to make sure that you're listening to the reading that matches your unique communication style, be sure to take the quiz. The link to take the quiz is down in the description box below. Again, this is Gracie W. Liu, communication expert. Be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, amazing solutions are everywhere with clear communication.